You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is the hottest day of the year, and there are plenty of ways to cool off. That's one way. There's another, or you could just sit in front of your TV and watch some baseball. As today, Kia Motors presents the Wednesday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the Atlanta Braves in the rubber game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Well, it finally happened. The Yankees lost a game. Their 10-game winning streak was snapped. They lose 4-3 to the Braves, but Kenny, oh so close a couple of times.
They had some chances in last night's ball game. You go to the 5th inning, the game was tied at 3. The Yankees had a chance to take the lead, but Jason Hayward with a strong throw cuts down Mark Teixeira. It remained tied. Yankees had a chance in the 7th, but Chipper Jones with a nice play throws out Curtis Granderson to the plate, and the Braves maintain a 4-3 lead. How'd they get it? They got into the 6th inning. Jason Hayward with a shot off Mark Teixeira. A single scores a run. The Braves, they win it 4-3 over the Yankees.
Well, the Yankees try to start a new streak today. Let's look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Tommy Hanson is going to go for the Braves, 7-4, 3.32. And for the Yankees, Phil Hughes, 7-5, 4.50 ERA. And Kenny, in the month of June, Phil Hughes has pitched as well as anybody in baseball.
He certainly has. Let's go back to his last start. It was the opening game in the series in Washington. Phil Hughes is very strong. I like the way he finished this game off. He pitched the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. In each one of those innings, he had 2 strikeouts. The bullpen took over from there. He had 22 swings and misses in the outing. That's the highest total of his career.
Well, he won that game, and the Yankees have been winning a lot of interleague games. In fact, if you go back to the beginning of last year, they've been winning at a record rate. Why? Ken Singleton will tell us next when we return on Yes.
Division to play either the National League or play the Western or Central Division in American League. Most of the time they've been playing tough competition to begin with. So you step into these other leagues and you start playing against National League teams. I think the Yankees are battle-tested, and they are definitely better than these teams they've faced. They've faced the Red Sox, the Rays, the Orioles, and the Jays, those are some pretty tough ball clubs to deal with most of the time. So when they play the other teams, they're not quite as good as those teams.
Also, a simple explanation by Girardi. We're a pretty good team. Usually around June we start to find it, so that could be it as well. Something as simple as that. But the Yankees have owned interleague play. So what do they do today? It's a matinee. Yankees and the Braves. Lineups, first pitch, baseball coming up next right here on Yes. Yes is brought to you in part by Dodge. Go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. By Blimpie, America's Sub Shop, and by the professionals. If your Tri-State GMC dealer might just go where you can go pro. Well, tonight is the first night of summer, so the heat is rolling into New York City, and the Yankees hope to get hot again after their 10-game winning streak was snapped yesterday. Let's take a look at the Braves lineup. Against Phil Hughes, Michael Bourne in center will lead off. Martin Prado on left, bat second. Batting third and DHing is Brian McCann. Dan Uggla, the second baseman, cleans up. The number 5 hitter, first baseman Freddie Freeman. Jason Hayward's in right field, who bat sixth. Batting seventh, the playing shortstop, Andrelton Simmons. Juan Francisco at third base will bat eighth. Batting ninth and catching, David Ross. Braves at 36 and 32. The Yankees 44 and 26. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is a strike, and we are underway. Pitch outside, 1-1.
Bourne is up there. He's hitting 16 of his last 18 games. He's been a little warm.
That one is looped into left field. It is a base hit.
Let's check out the numbers on Phil Hughes this season. He has been coming on of late. He got off to a slow start, but you can see his record now, 7-5. His ERA has been dropping. More than a hit per inning. 72 strikeouts in 74 innings. Opponents batting .266. Let's check out the scouting report on Phil Hughes for this afternoon. He's 4-1 in interleague play in his career. He's had 23 strikeouts in his last 21 in the third innings pitch. And left-handed batters, well, that's going to go up a little bit as Bourne got a hit. But left-handed batters started the day hitting just 195 against Phil Hughes.
Chasing back Michael Bourne. And he wants to do some housekeeping. Prado 1 for 8 in the first 2 games.
Ooh, look out. Little visitation rights right from the beginning. Target's low and away, but this pitch is going to miss the target. Fastball sailing up and in on Prado. Got his attention for sure.
There's a strike. Count 1-1.
Yankees have done a pretty good job on Prado and also Bourne for that matter. This will be the 6th and final game of the home-and-home series. In the previous 5, Prado's gone just 6 for 22, and he and Bourne are both 300 hitters. Kind of held both of them down. I think that's one reason why the Yankees won 4 of the first 5. These are the two guys that make it happen at the top of the order for the Atlanta Braves. Mentioned in our open that Phil Hughes, say Michael, he had 22 swings and misses. His last outing in Washington, his fastball was really crackling. Curveball was sharp.
You know what's strange, Kenny? He's already pitched 74 innings, and he's allowed 20 walks and 72 strikeouts. All of last year when he was shut down because he had a tired arm, 74 and 2/3 innings. So he's already reached that. 27 walks, and he only had 47 strikeouts. So there's much more life on his pitches this year. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count full.
Well, you expect to have Bourne on the move here. 17 steals on the year, plus we've mentioned many times these 5 previous games. He's got more stolen bases than anybody since 2006. 232 steals.
Runner goes. Fly ball, left center, giving chase is Granderson. He'll get there. As Bourne heads back to first. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense that Joe Girardi's put out there. It's brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Ibanez, Granderson, and Swisher left to right in the outfield. Infield, it's A-Rod and Nix, and Derek Jeter's the DH today. Then Cano and Chavez, as Mark Teixeira was going to get the day off, but his heel is also sore after getting hit yesterday on that hard shot by Hayward. Behind the plate is Russell Martin. Pitch is high to Brian McCann. Why don't we take a look at the weather? Game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Not a cloud in the sky, but 94 degrees. Humidity is 44%. Not much wind. It's partly cloudy and hot. And summer begins at 7:09 p.m. So set the alarm and get up and put the air conditioner on.
I think it arrived a little early.
Now, you know what I found out in the last couple of days? And if it's 90 degrees for 3 straight days, it's considered a heat wave. It can't be 2 days. So there's forecast for 90 tomorrow and 90 on Friday. So we're officially in a heat wave.
First day of summer, it should begin.
I guess.
Well, people are 2 fans in 1 seat. How about that?
Popped up. And A-Rod makes the play for the second half.
Shows you that Hughes is tough on lefties. He's got that ball in on McCann, who's a very good hitter. I think we pointed that out, that McCann's one of the better hitting catchers, if not the best hitting catcher going to go around these days.
You know, I saw that woman fanning herself, and I remember when I went to public school in the Bronx, PS 93.
Yeah.
It wasn't air conditioning.
What?
So in June, you'd be fanning yourself, and the teachers would always say, that just makes you hotter because you're expending energy. With that voice, yes. That just makes you hotter. So then we do it, and we melt away.
Yeah, but you were learning all along. You wouldn't be where you are now if you weren't paying attention.
I paid attention.
Yeah, you did.
Runner goes. What a jump.
Oh, goodness.
He started going, and Phil Hughes had not even delivered the ball. So a stolen base for Bourne.
That's going to be his 18th and maybe his easiest stolen base of the year. There he goes. Not a chance for Russell Martin. Yankees have done a very good job on Dan Uggla, the cleanup hitter for the Braves. This guy has played in every single game. He has started every game for the Braves this year, and that includes the ones against the Yankees, of course. He's 2 for 18 in the 5 games with 8 strikeouts.
Two and one. Chipper Jones not in the lineup today, and the Yankees honored him before the game, presenting him with third base and a beautiful case presented by Derek Jeter and Chipper's former teammate Andrew Jones. Obviously he's available as a pinch hitter today, but not in the starting lineup. Here's a quick look at that ceremony. The Yankees gave him a little standing O in front of their dugout.
Andrew Jones, of course, a former longtime teammate of Chipper Jones in Atlanta. Nice move by the Yankees, giving him third base. Another Chipper Jones fan.
The 2-2 popped up. Russell Martin runs out of room. And that brings us to today's MetLife stat of the game. Derek Jeter, Chipper Jones, and Todd Helton are the only Major League Baseball players who have played 2,000 or more games for their current teams. Helton with the Rockies.
That's what you call staying power.
Snoopy looks very cool there.
Yeah. I didn't know he was a left-hander.
The 2-2. Line drive, a base hit to left field. Bourne will score easily. It's an RBI single for Uggla. And the Braves are on the board. They're up 1-0.
Not to say that Phil Hughes would have held Bourne at first base anyway. I mean, he can steal a bag on anybody, but he certainly didn't help himself, but not even giving Russell Martin a chance. There's a base hit. Uggla with only his 3rd hit in the 6 games, but this one's a run producer as Bourne scores the lead run of the ball game. They take the lead 1-0.
Here's Freddie Freeman. Hammered into right center field. Giving chase is Granderson. He won't get there. See ya. A 2-run home run into the Yankee bullpen. And just like that, the Braves lead 3-0.
Well, Freddie Freeman got off the bus today at Yankee Stadium looking for a fastball on the first pitch, and he gets it. Target is in, but this is going to leak towards the middle. Right down the middle, about the thigh high, and Freeman is ready for it. Last night was his first game back after missing 5 days with a hand injury. It appears that hand is well healed.
So 3-0 here in the first. And here's Jason Hayward. And a strike. Hayward with a 6-game hitting streak. 8 for 21. And he hits a fly ball to right center. Drifting over is Granderson, and he'll make the play. But not before the Braves scored 3 runs on 3 hits. Nobody left. Braves 3 and the New York Yankees come to bat. presented by Lexus. The captain, the DH, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second, playing center, Curtis Granderson. Alex Rodriguez at third base will hit third. Cleaning up, second baseman Robinson Cano. Nick Swisher's in right field, he'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing left field, Raul Ibanez. The number 7 hitter, first baseman Eric Chavez. Russell Martin will catch, he'll bat eighth, and batting ninth, and playing shortstop, Jason Nix.
6'6" Tommy Hansen on the mound for the Atlanta Braves to close out this 3-game series. He's 1-0 in his career against the New York Yankees, and you can see he's got himself a pretty good record. Only 77 hits and 81 under third innings. Opponent's hitting .253, and all the other numbers. Let's check out the scouting report on 25-year-old Tommy Hansen. He is the lead winner for the Braves this year with the 7 victories. He's given up 10 home runs this year. Only one right-handed batter's hit a homer often. At least it's a brand name. Jose Bautista got him. And his 2-run limit in 8 of his last 9 starts. He's given up 2 runs or less. He's been very steady for the Braves when it comes his turn.
Well, Derek Jeter will start it off. Derek had his 9-game hitting streak snapped last night with an 0 for 3, but he did walk twice. He has 89 hits on the season. That's tops in the American League. That one's driven out to right center field. Gibby Chase Hayward on the track, at the wall. See ya! A leadoff home run for the captain. Yankees on the board. It's 3-1 Braves.
Could Derek Jeter have been on the same bus that Freeman was? Looking for a fastball, first pitch, gets it. High fastball, gone to right center field. And Derek Jeter becomes the second right-handed hitter to hit a home run off Tommy Hansen, joining Jose Bautista. And the Yankees, just like that, are on the board. Didn't Derek hit a home run the first pitch in Detroit off Justin Verlander?
I think so.
That's it. Certainly did.
Curtis Granderson takes high. So the 7th home run for Jeter. 25th ribby, his 90th hit of the year. And the count 2-0. Sometimes that scares a pitcher out of the strike zone. A rude awakening. Now 3-0.
I can see what you mean, Michael. You know, pitchers warm up, they come out of the bullpen, they're all amped up, they think my stuff is good. I got the guts, maybe the best stuff I've ever had. Oh, maybe I don't.
Count 3-1. Now 3-2.
You know, last night we noticed with Tim Hudson on the mound, the Braves veteran right-hander, he threw a lot of breaking balls to Curtis Granderson. A lot of sliders.
Ross could not hold on. Count still 3-2. High fly ball, right center. Bourne back and makes the play. Boy, the ball is really traveling on a hot afternoon in the Bronx. As Granderson puts it away, or is put away by Bourne for the first out.
I'll tell you, when he hit it, I didn't think it was going that far. Chases Bourne up against the wall and from the bullpen at deep right center field. I don't think Curtis quite got this one. And Bourne holding off Hayward with the hand, and makes the catch up against the plexiglass just in front of the bullpen. I think you're right, Michael. Ball is traveling today.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Count 1-0. Alex in a little bit of a slump. 2 hits in his last 19 at bats. Hitting .265. bat. Atlanta starters have been great. In the month of June, they have a 2.78 ERA. That's third best in the major leagues. One of the first two teams, they play within 10 miles of each other. The Yankees starters have the best ERA in June at 2.15, and then the Mets are second at 2.27. And then Atlanta third at 2.78, about a half a run more. Count 3-1. Follow the Yankees with the MLB.com @Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. One with a breaking ball on 3-1.
Hansen has a good variety of pitches. Fastball mid-90s. It's a good little slider right there. Also has a changeup.
And he strikes out A-Rod.
Came right back with it.
Let's check out the Braves defense. Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Prado, Bourne, and Hayward left to right in the outfield. Juan Francisco, Simmons, Ugla, and Freeman third to first. David Ross behind the plate. Hansen is on the mound. And Hansen likes being on the mound against American League East opponents. How much so? 7 career starts against teams from the AL East, and he's 6-0 with a 1.22 ERA. Staggering numbers. Cano shows bunt, takes a strike.
Braves have done a pretty good job against Cano in the 5 games. It's just 3 for 16 against Atlanta.
Count 0-2.
Once again, he doubles up on a breaking pitch.
Check swing. They say he went around. Cano can't believe it. He's tagged out by Ross. And that will do it. So Jerry Davis said, you don't even check, Cano's asking him. Jerry Davis said, I didn't have to. You went around. Nobody had to check for Derek Jeter's baseball. It was in the seats. He led off the bottom of the first with a home run. 3-1 Braves. Right, take a look at this check swing that was called a go-around.
Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a breaking ball in the dirt. That's a pitch that pitchers like to throw to lefties down and in, try and make them commit. Cano did not, and still was called out. And there's a reaction from manager Joe Girardi. And Kevin Long, of course, the hitting coach. They got the back of their star second baseman.
That was just a dreadful call. He didn't even come close to going around. Here's Simmons against Hughes, and the breaking ball is high, 1-0. And the thing that Cano was most angry about wasn't that it was called, is that you didn't check with the third base umpire. And our colleague, Paul O'Neill, has always said there's no way you could watch the baseball and also see the swing if you're the home plate umpire. He said you have to check with the base umpires all the time, in Paul's opinion. There's a strike. Let's check out the Home Depot hitter scouting report on Andrelton Simmons.
Nobody has had more hits than this 22-year-old shortstop in this 5-game series with the Braves down in Atlanta here at Yankee Stadium. 7 hits. Of course, when you play shortstop, they want you out there for defense.
Jason Nix fields. One away.
And Simmons has made just 1 error in his first 16 Major League games. He's been very impressive, strong arm, good speed. He's shown all the tools that you need to be a good Major League shortstop. And last year he was playing A-ball in the Carolina League. That's how much the Braves think of him. And he led the league in hitting with a .311 batting average. So now playing shortstop for the Atlanta Braves.
There's Juan Francisco getting the start at third base as Chipper gets the day off. Breaking ball strike.
This is Francisco's 22nd start at third base. Been a pretty good pinch hitter for Atlanta, too.
Fastball misses inside, 1-1. Off-speed pitch in the count, 1-2.
The Braves have 1 pinch hit home run this year, and Francisco hasn't.
Still 1-2.
Michael, you mentioned in last night's game, or maybe it was the previous night here against Atlanta, how aggressive their hitters are, and they don't waste much time in swinging the bats when they get into the box. And I think that's helped the Yankee starters the last couple of nights, keeping their pitch counts down. And Sabathia with the complete game Perota last night went 7 innings.
When Yankee starters have a streak going, Kenny, they've gone 6 or more innings in 19 straight games. And you might say, well, is that a big deal? Yeah, it's a big enough deal that they haven't done it since 1981. And the last time they did it 20 straight games was back in 1970. You do the math, that's 42 seasons ago. CeCe won a complete game.
42 years ago? 1970.
1970. Goodness. Going by fast, isn't it?
No, tell me about it.
Strike 3. Francisco down looking.
Hughes picks up his first strikeout. Steady diet of breaking balls until this last one. Fastball, boom, inside corner. Francisco caught looking.
Here's Ross. Backup catcher hitting .267. Lines that one to right field. Swisher is there, and that'll do it as the Braves go down 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Swisher, Ibanez, and Chavez against Hanson. Today's question is, which of Chipper Jones' career accomplishments stands out most? Your choices are, is it 1, 7-time All-Star? Number 2, 1999 National League Most Valuable Player. Number 3, 2008 National League Batting Title. Or number 4, 459 home runs. You could text your vote to 42951, and standard text messaging rates certainly apply.
Where are you going to go, Michael?
I say the home runs.
That's pretty good, but I'm thinking the MVP, because that means there was nobody better than you in the league that year.
You know why I go with the home runs, though?
Yeah.
There have only been two switch hitters better than him in the history of the game.
That's true.
Mantle and Murray. Here's Nick Swisher. There's a strike. Nick's had a good month of June. 17 for 49, 347 with 2 home runs. Overall, 267.
Nick leads the Yankees in runs batted in with 42. And he's missed a few games with injuries this year.
Last 5 games, 9 for 17. Speaking of hot, the Yankees have been one of the hottest teams in the game. They've won 15 of 18, 20 of 25, and since May 6th, they're 27-13 over a 40-game span. And in the month of June, 14-3. 2-2. Hot, hot, hot. Just like the Bombers. Off speed, you can see Swisher double clutched in the count 3-2. Yankees come into the game in first place, 2.5 ahead of the Orioles, who have lost the first 2 games of their series to the Mets. 3 over Tampa Bay, 6.5 over Toronto, and 7 over the last place Red Sox.
Swisher is making Tommy Hanson work. He's thrown all these pitches this inning so far and hadn't gotten it out. First man is still in the box, and I think that's one of the underrated things about Nick Swisher. He runs deep counts, and that's why he's very valuable to a lineup.
He keeps battling. As recently as May 21st, so today is June 20th. So about a month.
It's 30 days. Yeah.
Yankees were 21-21, and they were 5.5 games out of first place. And they are 20-5 since that date. He's keeping cool. Three-2. Strike 3. Swisher down looking. 3 strikeouts in a row for Hanson. Here are the standings today. Orioles are hanging tough. You got to give them credit. Everybody keeps expecting them to come down to earth. They don't want to. 2.5 back, 10 games over. Then the Rays 3 back. Hellickson just went on the DL with a weak shoulder. Blue Jays 6.5 out, and the Red Sox 7 back.
Yeah, the Rays called up young right-hander Chris Archer, who they got in the Matt Garza deal from the Chicago Cubs. So he's going to be pressed into action.
Ibanez takes a strike. that's a foul ball. Catch by the ball boy.
Now, one of the things about Nick Swisher's at bat, despite the fact that he was called out on strikes, Hansen stayed with him pitch for pitch. Nick made him work, and sometimes I talked about the subtleties. There's a residual effect on the pitcher for the remaining hitters in that inning, and sometimes one guy can wear you out. Doesn't always happen that way, but it can.
You know, as for Hansen, he's become such a good player, and what a testament to the player development department of the Braves and also scouting. He was drafted in the 22nd round in the 2005 draft. High fly ball. Hayward makes the play. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Tuesday, June 26th for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the Indians. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees t-shirt courtesy of Supercuts. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Here's Eric Chavez. Count 1-0. (3-1) Braves lead. Braves runs. Bourne with a single. 2 outs later, after Bourne stole second, Dan Uggla singled to left field to drive him home, and then Freddie Freeman with a 2-run home run. That made it 3-0. And Derek Jeter answered with a leadoff home run in the bottom of the inning, and it's 3-1. That's where we stand.
You know, Michael, you were talking about Hansen being drafted in the 22nd round. If I'm not mistaken, he was all set to go to Arizona State and pitch for the Sun Devils, and the Braves, drafted him in a later round, and he got much more money than he should have for that later round. And now that's something that can't happen because the draft, you're slotted as to what type of money you're going to get according to the round you're drafted.
And there's a walk.
On his last start, Hansen had a career high 6 base on balls. But talking to Joe Simpson, one of the Braves broadcasters, he mentioned the fact that the home plate umpire that night was Darryl Cousins, and Darryl had a strike zone the size of a postage stamp.
And Hansen could not mail it in.
Yeah.
So
there was Joe Simpson. We gave Don Sutton airtime the other night, so it's only fair.
The 0-1 to Martin. Hammered down the left field line. It's a base hit. Prado will play it off the wall. Chavez rounds third. He'll stop right there. And Martin has a double to put runners on second and third and 2 outs.
Russell Martin jumped on a high, looked like a high curveball. Yes, this one just hung right up here for him to get to, and he hammers it into the corner. You got to give Martin Prado some props out there in left field. Watch him play the carom. He's right there, gets it back in quickly. That ball bounces around a little bit more. Chavez might have a chance to score from first base. Here it is on Yesmo. Hanging curve, follow through, and Russell Martin has himself a double. But I give props to Martin Prado, who held Chavez at third, making a good play on the carom in left field. Sometimes in a visiting ballpark, you don't know how the ball's going to bounce around in enemy turf.
Big at bat now for Jason Nix. He could tie this game up. And he swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Freeman will make the play, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We've played 2. It's 3-1 Braves. Top of the Braves order coming up against Hughes. It's the Wednesday game of the week, brought to you in part by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Wednesday matinee here at the stadium. The gentleman drinking the water is Mike Moore. And he is the brother of our director, John Moore, celebrating his birthday, his 53rd birthday. There with his wife, Leslie. And he said, I'm out of here. On camera, I'm out. Lincoln scoreboard, Braves lead 3-1. Warren pops it up. And Ibanez makes the play.
They don't waste any time. 1 pitch, 1 out. There's one way to stay cool on a hot afternoon. All kinds of ways to beat the heat.
You know, if you do come to the ballpark and it's hot, there are a lot of cooling stations around Yankee Stadium, so you should look into that if you're going to be here on a hot day, because they have them all around the ballpark. There's a strike to Prado. Yankees have tomorrow off, and then they begin a 3-game set at Citi Field against the Mets, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night.
It's Andy Pettit's turn on Friday.
It'll be Pettit against Jonathan Neese. Then Saturday, Nova against Chris Young. And then Sunday, on national TV, CC Sabathia against R.A. Dickey. Drilled deep to left field. That ball is gone. See ya. Home run for Prado. Second home run allowed by Hughes. And it's 4-1 Atlanta.
Well, Prado hit the ball well his first time up, and it was run down by Granderson, but only a fan's going to get this one. Up and in, and he turns. Spins on it. And runs it into the lower deck in left field for his 5th home run of the season. Martin Prado. He and Bourne at the top of the order, both 300 hitters.
Brian McCann swings at an off-speed pitch.
Hughes in his last start in Washington did not give up a home run. That broke his string. That's the only game this year he hadn't given up a homer. But the Braves have doubled up on him here this afternoon. And you might ask, why does he give up so many home runs? He's a fastball pitcher, high fastball, a lot of fly balls. So far, there's only been one ground ball out.
And that was Simmons' ground ball to Nix. Breaking ball, strike 3. McCann down looking.
Here's a look. You see Russell Martin wants the ball down, and he gets a knee-high. Good pitch, outside corner. McCann. Is it window shopping? Yeah, I'd say that.
Here's Ugla with an RBI single in the first inning. Two and one, 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Once again, that unusual lineup makeup for both teams. The second baseman batting fourth for both teams.
Also, Kenny, times have changed. Do you remember second baseman with arms like that? Like Popeye. Swing and a foul tip held on to by Martin, and that will do it. But another run for the Braves on the Prado home run. We go to the bottom of the third inning, and it'll be the top of the Yankee order starting at the Capitol. You can watch live Yes Network Yankee games on your PCs or laptops with Verizon Fios. Get a full season of live Yankees games on the go for just $39.99. If you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Well, Phil Hughes has given up 4 runs in 3 innings. On the Lincoln scoreboard, it's 4-1 Atlanta. And that matches his entire run total allowed over his previous 3 starts. And that's the Tigers, the Mets, and the Nationals. So the Yankees have some catching up to do as Derek Jeter will dig in. He homered off Hansen, leading off the first. Pitch is high, 1-0.
With that home run, Derek eclipsed the total that he had all of last year.
Derek has a .369 average this year with 4 home runs when leading off the game. And he is the all-time home run hitter leading off games in Yankee history. But remember, Ricky Henderson was only here 5 years, but Derek leads him 28-24.
Ricky's the all-time leader in that category.
Ricky had 81 career leadoff home runs.
You know, sometimes pitchers come out of the bullpen facing that first guy in the game. Just here it is. Let me get this first pitch over, get off to a nice start. And before you know it, here's a base hit somewhere. And they're pitching from the stretch.
Grounded to third. Francisco gets Jeter hustling down the line. Jeter's running very, very well this year.
It's close play at first base. Slow rolling. Francisco gets it there about with step to spare.
Some of his teammates might want to take a lesson from Derek because some of them jogged down to first. Some really good players like Robinson Cano, and the other day Andrew Jones struck out, didn't run to first base. And
when the ball got away from the catcher, yeah.
Derek runs hard all the time, and he's going to be 38 this year. He runs hard all the time. Remember what Frank Howard used to say, former Yankee coach? He would talk to the players when they'd come into the dugout in spring training. He said, "Gentlemen, it's really not a tough way to make a living running 90 feet hard 4 times a day."
But I think when the captain of the team sets the tone, you would think most of the guys would fall in the line and foul.
You would hope.
Another breaking ball to Curtis Granderson. A lot of curveballs and sliders to Granderson this series. Early in the season, Granderson was hitting most of his home runs here at Yankee Stadium. He hit 10 of his first 11 right here in the Bronx. But lately, only 2 of his last 10 home runs have come in the Bronx. Well, that's a product of the Yankees being on the road a little bit more. But he's starting to find a range in the gray uniform.
Fly ball center field. Bourne battling the sun. Puts it away for the second out.
One thing I noticed the difference between Bourne and Granderson in the way they go about playing center field. Bourne plays much deeper. On high fly balls like that last one that Bourne just caught, he was just about there to begin with. You only had to go back maybe about 10-15 feet. But Granderson plays shallow. And you notice he'll make more of the running catches where he has to get underneath the ball. Here's Bourne in center. He plays much deeper than Granderson does. Goes back. He's there and makes the catch. You see Granderson making the more running catch on the run.
Alex Rodriguez grounds one to Francisco. Nice play to the glove side, and that will do it. As Hanson works a 1-2-3 third. We'll go to the 4th. Freeman will lead off. stat line quiz. This is Chipper Jones' 19th season with the Braves. What 4 players spent 20 or more years playing for the Braves franchise? We'll find that out in the bottom of the inning. (4-1) Braves lead the Yankees. A rubber game of the 3-game set. Yankees won all 3 games against the Braves in Atlanta last week. Braves seeking revenge as Freeman grounds it foul.
Freeman drew a walk in last night's game. And that was his first walk in 71 straight plate appearances. So there's a reason why he swings at the first pitch. And he hit a home run on the fastball, and Phil Hughes started him off with a breaking ball this time. And I think that's a prime example of what we talked about, the Yankee pitchers keeping their pitch count down. Because you go to the Yankee first baseman, Mark Teixeira is usually in there. Not today. He always takes the first pitch.
Yep. And the team as a whole work on working the count.
And in a way, Michael, I think it's a product of National League ball, because they have to make things happen. You get to the bottom of the National League orders, you have that embedded out with the pitcher, unless he's helping himself out with a bunt, maybe an occasional hit. So that those are at least 3 innings in a game where you got the pitcher coming up. So those other guys have to make something happen when it's their turns.
I'm wondering, Kenny, when you're facing a team that swings at the first pitch a lot, is it better to have a guy with great control on the mound or a guy who's wild?
I think, yeah, that's a good point. Whether they might be chasing pitches. I think it's always better to have a guy with good control. That means he can use various pitches to get it over the plate.
Maybe
get
just
ahead,
off the corner or something like that.
Yeah, get ahead on counts. And that's a very good point. You know, these guys might be able to chase some pitches in the dirt.
They would help a pitcher that's a little bit wild. Here's a ground ball to first. Chavez is there. 1 away. Hey, there's a shot of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar. It's cool in there today. That's why the place is jammed, situated in center field. The Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. There's Jason Hayward. And they jump on the first pitch. And it's a hard thing to dictate otherwise. That's how they got to the big leagues. Yeah. So you all of a sudden going to rein back their aggressiveness.
Yeah, but some organizations, we know the Oakland A's for one, they promote players according to their on-base percentage more often than not. Which means you're going to be taking pitches. Different organizations, different way of thinking. The Braves are going to jump on the first thing smoking. That first fastball. Braves, like the Yankees, have an off day tomorrow, and then they go to play the Red Sox. They go to Boston for the weekend.
It's still odd to me why the Yankees are playing the Braves 6 times in interleague play. It doesn't make sense. It's not a natural rivalry. You could have them play another team. And here's a stat that jumped out at me. I don't know if you saw this. There's been interleague play since 1997. So this is the 16th year of interleague play. And there's one National League team, one, that has never made a trip to Yankee Stadium, old or new. And it's the one team that you would think would be a perfect team to have in interleague play come into play the Yankees. The LA Dodgers have never been to Yankee Stadium. How do you explain that? In 16 years, it never worked out once. So there doesn't seem to be rhyme or reason to interleague scheduling.
Maybe they feel that New Yorkers had enough of the Dodgers back in the 50s when they seen them meet every year in the World Series. And the Dodgers were in Brooklyn at the time. But I understand your point, because to me, that's a historic rivalry.
Hammered deep to right field. That ball is gone. Off the facing of the second deck. A home run for Hayward. The third home run allowed by Phil Hughes today. And it's 5-1 Braves.
Hayward swung at most of the pitches of that at bat, and he finally got something he could handle. He hung tough once he got 2 strikes, fouled off a few breaking balls, and then gets a fastball. Targets up, but just a hair towards the middle of the plate, and he was ready. Quick hands. He snatched that one down the line, and that's his 9th home run of the year. He's had a good series.
And extends his hitting streak to 7 straight.
And there it is, just inside the pole.
Right on the Lays sign. Back out onto the field.
And what did Simmons do? Swung at the first pitch.
Yep. The hitting coach is Greg Walker, longtime hitting coach with the Chicago White Sox.
Walker played for the Chicago White Sox too.
So it's 5-1 Braves over the Yankees. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Count 2-2.
I talked earlier about how impressed I've been with Simmons. He's 22 years old, and one thing, he's got a very quick swing. Short, compact stroke, and he was able to hold up there.
And Phil Hughes just showed some frustration looking at the first base umpire, Phil Cuzzy, as if to say, come on, that was the strike. Quite a comparison, previous 3 starts and today. Now, speaking of Simmons, he made his debut on June 2nd. And since then, he leads the Braves with 7 multi-hit games. 5 of them in the last 7 games.
And while that's impressive, I think also the number that he's made just 1 error since being called up. You know, usually, the young players come up to big leagues and start feeling the pressure, trying to rush plays, but it seems like he's got a nice, easy manner about him. We told you he only made 4 errors in 253 chances in the minors this year. So maybe that's what the Braves were looking at that as well when they called him up.
I think that was the key, Kenny, because Pasternicki really struggled defensively at short.
And Pasternicki made the team out of spring training. And I think at the time, though, Simmons was injured and didn't get much of a shot because of that. But Pasternicki, as you said, struggled. Simmons got off to a decent start down at AA, Double A. And got the call to the big leagues. You can see hit 339.
Strike 3. Simmons now looking. 4th strikeout for Hughes.
While Hughes is getting a lot of swings and misses in his last start, he's had 4 strikeouts today, 3 of them on called 3rd strikes. That was a well spotted fastball.
Juan Francisco breaks the trend and takes a pitch. Breaking ball strike, 1-1. Dials up the fastball at 93 miles an hour, 1-2.
Braves got Francisco from Cincinnati for bench strength. He does have some power.
Had him played perfectly. A-Rod fields and fires across the diamond. That'll do it. But a home run by Hayward, the third allowed by Hughes. Most he's given up in a game this year. This one right down the line and off the Lays side. 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Quit line quiz. The question: this is Chipper Jones' 19th season with the Braves. What 4 players spent 20 or more years playing for the Braves franchise?
Well, you always got to start with Hank Aaron. That's one. Maybe Phil Niekro, Warren Spahn,
John Smoltz.
John Smoltz.
Wow. Good job. There's a sign of summer. The kids from the camp with the same T-shirts on, and usually see those sections sprinkled around the stadium. Those kids are up in the right field upper deck.
Those are a tough day for the counselors, though. Got to count all those kids.
Yep. 5-1 Braves lead as Robinson Cano will lead off. Cano struck out in the first inning. Really didn't strike out like he checked his swing, but the home plate umpire Jerry Davis said you went around.
I remember years ago my dad took me and 12 of my friends to see a ball game. He was nervous that he was going to lose one of us. We took the bus and the subway. We went to the Polo Grounds to see the Mets play the San Francisco Giants. First year of the Mets.
Got to be nervous. That's precious cargo. That's somebody's children.
He was relieved when that day was over. It was my birthday. That was cool. Where's George? Where's Arnold? Where's Joey? Where's little Mikey?
And he did it himself? It was just him?
It was just him. It was 12 or 13. I can't recall. But there's a whole bunch of us.
Right in on the hands. Popped up. And you could hear, I guess it was the catcher shouting out Freddie. So Freeman made the play.
David Ross getting the start today for the Braves. Of course, most of the time it's McCann. The Braves have a pretty good record when Ross is in there, though. He's a solid backup catcher.
Great stat on the board. I wonder how many players have done this. In his career, it says Nick has batted in every spot in the lineup, and he's homered from all 9 spots. I bet you there aren't that many.
No, I bet there aren't that many either. And I think it's because Nick Swisher gives Joe Girardi lineup maneuverability. Number one, he's a switch hitter. And we've seen him more in the second spot sometimes against left-handed starters.
High drive, center field, Bourne back. And he'll make the play in front of the warning track for the second out.
Wrong part of the ballpark. That ball was hit well enough to be a home run to right, but certainly not the deep center. And I think sometimes pitchers will tell you they pitch to the big part of the ballpark, keeping the ball out over the plate. Go ahead, hit it as far as you want to center. That guy out there makes pretty good money running down fly balls.
Here's Ibanez, 1 for his last 19. Fly ball left field. Martin Prado will make the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. 7 of the Yankees retired straight by Hanson. We'll go to the 5th, and David Ross will lead it off. Thank you, Bob and Jack. On the Kia scoreboard, it is 5-1 Atlanta as we go to the top of the 5th. And although Phil Hughes has pitched well of late, as the guys just detailed, the home runs are a bugaboo for him, and you've got to keep the ball in the park. And there's only one start this year that he's kept the ball in the park. David Ross with a breaking ball strike. He's now allowed 18 home runs, tying him with Santana and Tommy Hunter of the Orioles for 18 for number 1 in the American League. Count 0-2.
Yeah, with Ross leading off, I told you the Braves had a pretty good record when he starts. And you go back to last year, when David Ross started the ball game, he doesn't start all that often. The Braves are 28-14.
High fly ball, deep left. Ibanez back, track, wall, see ya. Another home run for the Braves, and it's 6-1 Atlanta.
Well, Michael, you said the ball was flying today. And that's usually the case with the heat of the summer. Baseballs have a tendency to leave the ballparks with more frequency throughout the major leagues. And the Braves are welcoming the first day of summer. Going deep for the 4th time this afternoon. That looked like a hanging hook. Ibanez running out of room in left center field.
And you also saw how much he missed the target by. Almost a full width of the plate. There's a strike to Bourne, 1-1.
Ibanez gets the last look before it becomes a souvenir.
Breaking ball, 1-2. And he strikes him out for the first out of the 5th. So the 4 home runs allowed, a new career high by Hughes, and that's all he's going to give up, as Joe Girardi is going to remove Hughes from the game. Hey, it's hard to be upset with him when he's pitched so well of late. 6-1 in his last 8 starts, and the Yankee starters have been so great. So they finally get a clunker here in the Bronx on a Wednesday matinee, as Girardi will signal to the bullpen Hughes' day is over. Braves lead 6-1. Yankees have some catching up to do. Behind the scenes look at the record-breaking Dodgers deal from both sides of the transaction, plus an evaluation of the most valuable minor league baseball teams. It's a new Forbes Sports Money tonight at 10, only on Yes. Well, Joe Girardi has to make the call to the bullpen. He hasn't done that this early in a while, and it's brought to you by AT&T. In fact, 19 games of his starters giving him at least 6+, but not today with Hughes.
You know, when you look at the numbers on Hughes, 6 runs on 6 hits, but 4 of the hits were home runs. That kind of tells me that when he hit his spots, he was getting people out, but when he didn't, the ball was flying out. In other words, when he missed his spots, it really pitches that were just able to be hit out of the ballpark. 4 home runs out of the 6 hits. I mean, he did have 5 strikeouts.
Here's Prado against Cody Epley. And there's a strike. Epley's done a nice job for the Yanks. This is his 20th game. Two quick strikes.
Sinker and a very sharp slider, and plus the fact the way he delivers the ball can make it difficult for right-handed hitters. Let's see what Prado's done today. Solo home run. That was his 5th of the year.
Fly ball, Nick Swisher will put it away for the second out. This season, the bullpen has the second best ERA in the American League, fifth best batting average against, and they strike out almost 9 per 9 innings. And that is also fifth. The Orioles are first in ERA. Count 1-0. McCann is 0 for 2 as the Braves DH. In interleague play this year, the Braves DHs have gone 1 for 16.
Might have been better off letting the pitchers hit.
They would not have been much worse than 1 for 16.
I guarantee you. Now, we talked about McCann being one of the best. Was it Clay Rapata's up in the bullpen? Mike Harkey, the pitching coach. You know, McCann, one of the better hitting catchers. In fact, the last 7 years, he's had more runs batted in than any other catcher. And by far, he's got 534. The next catcher on the list is Joe Mauer, who's missed time with injuries. But the third on the list might surprise you.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to surprise you?
Yes.
Okay, Russell Martin, third of all catchers.
That's surprising.
So we got 2 of the top 3 in the ballpark today.
And Minnesota has a 7:05 start in Pittsburgh, so Joe Mauer's probably watching the game in the clubhouse, so everybody's involved. 3-1. 3-2. And he struck him out off speed. Good job by Epley. But another run on a home run by Ross. We're halfway through. Leading off for the Yankees will be Eric Chavez. Coverage starting Friday at 6 with Audi batting practice today in the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then after the final out on My 9, turn back to Yes for Tri-State Ford extra innings. Plus Saturday and Sunday, come back after the nationally broadcast Yankees-Mets games for complete post-game coverage with Tri-State Ford Extra Innings only on Yes. Those are the matchups. Pettit and Nice on Friday, Nova and Young on Saturday, and Sabathia and R.A. Dickey on Sunday night.
That R.A. Dickey, back-to-back one-hitters.
Amazing story.
Yeah. What, it had been 24 years or something like that since Dave Steve?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Steve lost his no-hitters in each of those games on the last hitter.
Had a perfect game against the Yankees and was broken up by Roberto Kelly,
who became even more famous when he was traded for
Paul O'Neill. And Fisher DeBerry. There was another player in that deal. Now Fisher DeBerry was the dad.
Going which way?
I think there was another player. Wow, that's a good way to cool off. Fisher DeBerry was the football coach. His son was involved in that deal, I think, coming back to the Yankees. We'll look it up. We've got computers all over the place.
Meanwhile, the Yankees only have 2 hits, a leadoff homer by Jeter and a double by Russell Martin.
High drive, deep center, born back, track, wall, see ya! Home run for Chavez. Atlanta 6, Yankees 2. The 6th home run in the game. 4 for the Braves, 2 for the Yankees.
Meanwhile, the Yankees only have 3 hits. A home run by Jeter, to double by Martin, and now the home run by Chavez, almost straight away center field. Well, we've seen the outfielders going back to the walls today. This one straight away center. Bourne's going to run out of real estate. A long way away from home plate. And Chavez's 4th home run of the year.
Martin fouls it away.
Here's another look. Hit right there. Extension of the arms. Good sound coming off the bat. And here comes Monument Park.
The young man's name was Joe DeBerry, Fisher DeBerry's son, and he did come to the Yankee organization in the O'Neill part of the deal. I think O'Neill made a little bit more of an impact.
O'Neill's still doing it, making an impact.
I think he's going to be back in the air next weekend. It's a long break.
Where's he going to be? With the...
I think the White Sox games.
Well rested.
He is well rested. Well, you know what? His son got married.
Yeah, congratulations. Well, last time up, Russell Martin got a hold of a hanging curveball and roped it into the corner in left field.
And he works a walk. So the Yankees trying to rally here in the 5th inning.
Hanson's actually done his best pitching away from Atlanta this year. At just 2-2 at home with an elevated ERA 4.59, but on the road working to a 2.44 and a 5-2 record.
Roger McDowell come out and try to settle down Hanson. take one more look at the Eric Chavez home run because it is the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, Kenny.
Yeah, that's something you could really use on a day like today. Man. Either the Cold Hard Blast or a home run to center field.
Here's Jason Nix getting the start today in batting ninth, playing shortstop as Jeter DHs. And strike. Count 1-1. Nix has done a nice job for the Yankees. He play a lot of positions. He's gotten some key hits, hitting .238, 2 homers and 4 ribbies. 10 for his last 35, not an automatic out.
I think one of the key things that you have to be able to do when you're a utility player is do all the little things that the manager asks you to. Steal a base if you can. He's 2 out of 3 in stealing bases this year. We saw him get a couple of bunts down on the road trip. Sacrifice bunts. And as you said, Michael played various positions. He gave Cano a semi-day off on the road. Started the game at second base. That doesn't happen very often. They were talking to Cano the next day there in the dugout about getting the day off. Cano said, what day off? 2 hours. I was in the game. He went in for defense later on and got a base hit.
Runner goes. Fly ball, deep right. Bourne on the track, leaps. And he makes the play. Will they be able to turn 2? No. Martin just got back. He was running on the play despite being down 6-2, and he just got back. Well, that ball really carried out there.
Oh, my goodness. Watch Bourne. He's holding off Hayward to say, look, I got this one, big guy. And he leaps over him and makes the catch. Look at this on Yesmo. Brings it back in and over Hayward, who might have had a better shot because he's taller. Maybe not would have got out, but the fact is he still made a heck of a catch in deep right center.
I almost think it would have been an easier catch for Hayward.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have had a jump.
If you're an outfielder today, it might be easier to just stand up against the wall and come in.
That's right. Here's Derek Jeter. Take one more look with the Super Shot, brought to you by Fujifilm Long Zoom digital cameras.
Watch him up. You got to get up to get down, and he made the play.
Swing and a miss.
Let's take another look at Michael Bourne, his reaction. He's doing the instant replay. He's doing the instant replay. He's reversing the tape.
Jeter swings and misses. Same pitch. 2 outs.
It's up to Granderson to make an adjustment here. He's been getting a steady diet of off-speed hooks. All you got to do is hit one really well.
And a strike.
Then they change things up and throw you a fastball.
Anderson with 2 fly balls to Bourne. 0 for 2.
Now he fouled it off, but he did have a better swing at that one. So if you're Tommy Hanson, you kind of file that away. Maybe you start to make the adjustment here, and then you go accordingly.
Martin leads off first base. He's going. The throw is not in time. It gets past Simmons, and Martin stays right there. But Granderson struck out, so it was all for naught. That ended the inning, and that will do it. Boy, the ball's been flying out of Yankee Stadium. A hot day, about 94 degrees, 6 home runs, 4 by the Braves, 2 by the Yankees, and all adds up to Atlanta 6 and the Yankees 2. Text poll again. The question was, which of Chipper Jones' career accomplishments stands out most? And here is how you vote it at 42951. 44% say it's the 459 home runs. 7-time All-Star. That really doesn't do much for me, the All-Star. MVP was 3rd. Batting title was 4th. And the reason I say the All-Star doesn't do that much for me, it's really a popularity contest.
Well, the way it's been set up,
yeah,
over the last 25 years or so, it's all about voting. And the Braves are a nationally known team. I mean, you go back to the days of TBS, and they have a national following. That means they get votes from all over. Their players get votes from all over the country. And the same can be said for the Yankees and the other big market teams.
And Dan Huggle is leading National League second baseman over Brandon Phillips of the Reds. Huggle swings and misses at an Epley offering. 2-1. Ugla with an RBI single in the first, struck out in the third. 6-2 Braves lead the Yankees. We are in the top of the 6th inning. Wednesday matinee here at the stadium.
You know, Michael, you were talking about the second baseman not having the power of a Dan Ugla. And you think that second baseman, you go back to the mode more of like Roberto Alomar, just went to Hall of Fame last year. He had some power, but he didn't have Dan Ugla power.
No. Or Dan Ugla arms. But Dan Ugla doesn't have Roberto Alomar defensive skills.
Not nearly.
Speaking of the All-Star game, Ugla made 3 errors in an All-Star game. That was at Yankee Stadium.
You know, I think back when Roberto Alomar was teamed with Omar Vizquel at Cleveland at second base and short. I don't. Not only were they good, and you know, just about every year they each won a Gold Glove, but they were capable of the spectacular play. You know, barehanded scoop, throwing on the air, leaping in the air, throwing out runners, turning double plays, flipping behind the back. It was kind of like the baseball version of the Harlem Globetrotters at second and short. They were that good. Very entertaining.
And Alomar's in the Hall, and you would assume that Vizquel will get them.
Yeah, he's got a very good chance.
Right back to Epley, so he wins that battle with Ugla. 1 away. And with Freeman due up, that's going to do it for Epley, as Girardi will call on the lefty.
Epley faces 3 hitters, gets all 3 of them out. And he did his job.
He did do his job, pitched very well, got all 3 batters he faced, and Rapata will come in. Volkswagen dealers, visit VWDealer.com. By J&R Music and Computer World. And by Chrysler, imported from Detroit. It's time for Clay Rapata, the Yankees' third pitcher. Phil Hughes started and did not have his best stuff. Surrendered 4 home runs. Epley retired all 3 batters he faced, and now Rapata comes on to face Freeman and then Hayward. 1-0. count 1-1.
Yeah, lefty batters hitting 152 against Rapata. So with back-to-back lefties with power, each one of them's hit a home run today. Freeman in the first and Hayward in the fourth. Joe Girardi trying to neutralize them with Clay Rapata.
Nice stat. Hitless in their last 16 at bats. And now 17 at bats as Freeman swings and misses. So here's Hayward. Lifetime against left-handers. Hayward is hitting .221 as Freddie Garcia gets ready. Garcia was a winner in that extra inning game on Saturday in Cincinnati. Washington, D.C. Cincinnati. Because they were wearing red, maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's the city with that big monument in it. Yeah. Washington Monument.
Right.
Yes.
I got it. I'm sorry. I was wrong.
It'd been a long train ride from Cincinnati back to the Bronx.
Cincinnati's on my mind because O'Neill's coming back.
Okay.
Back in the booth.
Okay.
You know.
I haven't been there in a while.
Have you been to the new ballpark?
No, I have not. I understand it's a pretty good hitter's ballpark.
Mm-hmm. If you really hit it well or right, you can hit it to Kentucky. Right over the river.
Little interstate commerce.
Mm-hmm. Hayward with a fly ball to center in the first, and then a solo home run to right in the fourth.
We saw some of his skills last night, and for a pretty big guy, he runs pretty well. He's got over 10 steals. He's got 10 steals this year. Made a nice throw in last night's game.
How about Rapata? Opponents now 0 for their last 18 against him. Two Yankee relievers work a 1-2-3. A-Rod, Cano, and Swisher coming up.
Game and every Yes Network game another time around. If you missed any of the big hits and great plays, just watch the encore later every night or again the next morning at 9. Brought to you by Verizon Finance. It's one way to cool off.
Little encore?
No,
Oh.
he had his own fan. There's an umbrella. Stay cool.
Here's A-Rod. He's 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded to third. Fouls that one back. Yankees trailing 6-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning.
I'll tell you what, cameramen have to endure it. I mean, you got the real hot days of summer. You ever watch those football games in the winter, like in Green Bay? I mean, opposite end of the spectrum in those days.
Breaking ball strike.
And those cameras getting pretty heavy, right, Tad? Oh, yeah. That's Tad Davis down by the Yankee dugout.
Very enterprising. High fly ball, deep right. Hayward back on the track, looking up, leaps. See ya! Home run, Alex Rodriguez. And the Yankees have cut it to 6-3. 7 home runs have left the yard today.
This is number 11 on the year. Ross sets the target high and away, but the ball's towards the middle. A-Rod not so sure. Not quite as sure as we've seen in the past, but Hayward's going to run out of room. That's about the first row, and A-Rod's got himself a home run. And Tommy Hansen's thinking, if I was pitching in Atlanta, that would have been an out.
With that RBI, A-Rod has 1,925 ribbies. And that gives him sole possession of 6th place on baseball's all-time runs batted in list. He broke the tie with Jimmy Fox. Next up, Stan the Man. That one's driven deep to right. There it goes! See ya! Back-to-back home runs. Cano goes yard. Yankees have cut it to 6-4.
Tommy Hansen tried to take something off of that breaking ball, but he didn't get quite enough taken off. It hung up there for Cano to get to. And this is going to be number 14 for Robinson Cano. Robbie knew it, and so did Hansen. Well, look at that. Gone. They're leaving like flights out of LaGuardia today.
Speaking of gone, Tommy Hansen's gone, as Freddie Gonzalez has seen enough. Hansen has allowed 4 home runs. There are 8 home runs in the game, so the Braves bullpen will come on in. Tomorrow's or Friday's starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed Internet. Twice as fast as anything America's ever seen. Andy Pettit, 3-2, 2.77 against Jonathan Neese, 4-3, 3.82. Our coverage will begin at 6 p.m. right here on Yes. And the game is going to be on My 9. And first pitch will be right around 7:05 from Citi Field. Should be a fun series this weekend in Queens. But the Yankees trying to take care of business here in the Bronx. New pitcher for the Braves, Johnny Venters. 6 games against the Yankees and 6 Johnny Venters appearances.
Venters comes on to replace Tommy Hanson, who gave up 5 hits. 4 of them were home runs. Phil Hughes gave up 6 hits. 4 of them were home runs.
So 11 hits in the game combined for both teams, and 8 of the hits have been home runs. Here's Nick Swisher. He's 0 for 2. Venters deals low.
Well, at least if anything else, Venters should be familiar to the Yankee hitters.
To Swisher. So Alex with his 11th, Cano with his 14th, and the Yankees have cut it to 6-4. A late strike call there by Jerry Davis as Nick Swisher thought it was ball 4. So do I. How about you, Kenny?
Daslow.
Yep, under the kneecaps. Get it to him again, 3-2.
Yeah, Swisher's trying to work his way on base, bring the tying run to the plate. That was low. That's the same pitch.
That was, it seemed from that angle a little bit.
Ross did a good job bringing the glove up, though. Very accomplished catcher.
Now Nick said, was that a ball? He didn't curry favor there with Jerry Davis. So Nick Swisher gets a walk.
Here we go, the 3-2 pitch. And that's definitely low. Nick takes a look before he heads to first base. Oh, he's something.
Jerry Davis still staring down at him. Now here's Ibanez. He's 0 for 2. 1 for his last 20. One 1-0. Ibanez 5 for 12 lifetime against Johnny Venters.
Yeah, one problem for Venters, he does strike out a lot of hitters. 35 strikeouts at 26 2/3, but he's also walked 14 back, making 15 now in 26 2/3 innings. He's got good stuff. It just doesn't always go where he wants it to go.
Tie it right there, 3-2. Here's the payoff. Grounded to first. They step on first for one. Nick Swisher gets himself in a rundown. And he finally gets tagged out. I think he finally ran out of gas.
Finally tagged out by the shortstop Simmons. This is one of those plays. The only thing missing is the unicycles for everybody. Back and forth, back and forth. Almost threw it away there. There's the fake by Simmons, and Nick runs into the tag.
3-6, 3-4-6 is the way I read it for the double play.
3-6,
3-4-6. Chavez takes low, 1-0. Chavez walked in the second and then hit a solo home run leading off the fifth. One and two. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. We have played 6 innings. The Braves lead the Yankees 6-4. Within the two teams, there have been 8 home runs, 2 in this inning, 1 by A-Rod, 1 by Cano. It's the 4th time in this new stadium that they've combined to hit 8. Nissan dealer, 6-6-0 for the Braves, 4-5-0 for the Yankees. Phil Hughes, 4 home runs allowed, that's a career high. Tommy Hanson, 4 home runs allowed, that ties a career high. And 8 home runs combined, as we mentioned, that's the 4th time that's happened in the new stadium. Still plenty of baseball to go as we go to the top of the 7th inning. And Andrelton Simmons will lead off. Clay Rapata still in the game for the Yanks. Cadillac scoreboard 6-4. Braves lead. Fouled away as Simmons, of course, jumps on the first pitch. Count 1-1. Simmons, Francisco, and Ross here in the 7th.
Well, Joe Girardi getting Phil Hughes out of the ball game after 4 1/3 innings, and then going quickly to Epley, who had a shutout inning. Now Rapata's doing a pretty good job, and if the bullpen can just hold the Braves right, the Yankees have closed it with it too, and the way the ball's flying, you know, anybody who's standing in the batter's box is a rally.
Now the Yankees would like to get it done in the 7th and the 8th inning, because you watched Kimbrel last night and he is filthy. And it'd be tough to rally against him. He's blown 1 save all year. But it might come down to that. Strike 3. Simmons down looking. 3 straight strikeouts for Rapata. That's a new career high for him, as opponents are now 0 for their last 19. His previous high was 0 for 18. Corey Wade is ready. Francisco takes outside, 1-0.
See Rapata standing all the way on the first base side of the rubber. That gives him a nice angle to shoot for this outside corner against the left-handed batters.
2-0. Six hits for the Braves. 4 of them have left the yard. 5 hits for the Yankees. 4 of them have left the yard. Foul back.
Nice fight back by Rapata after falling behind 2 balls and no strikes. He fights back to get the count even. But while you might say the count is 2-2 and things are even, no, this at bat is kind of swinging in his direction. Momentum's going with him now.
Swing and a miss. 4 straight strikeouts for Rapata. And it's going to end there, as Joe Girardi will bring in Corey Wade to face David Ross. Hey, if you were wondering what the record is for combined home runs in a game, 12. The White Sox and the Tigers have actually done it twice, playing each other in 1995 and in 2002. Corey Wade's coming on. Stick around. So now it's time for Corey Wade. So we've had Cody Epley, Clay Rapata, and Corey Wade. We can call them the Killer C's as they lead to the back end of the bullpen. Corey in his 29th game now, 2.89 ERA, 30 strikeouts in 28 innings, and opponents hitting .210 against him.
What a job by Rapata. I mean, 4 hitters, 4 strikeouts. 3 swinging, 1 looking.
There's David Ross. He had a home run in the 5th inning. The Yankee bullpen has turned off the home run spigot. Now trying to keep it that way. Ooh. And that got a big chunk of Russell Martin.
Here's another look, and pitch is right there. Oh, right off the left shoulder. Man. Russell Martin wakes up tomorrow morning a little tight in that area. Here's your reason.
Chad Durbin up in the bullpen for the Braves. Yankees saw him yesterday. Way outside. 3-1. Now 3-2. A steaming Wednesday afternoon here in the Bronx. And the ball flying out of the park. 8 home runs at 6-4 Braves, top of the 7th.
Yeah, the bullpen, Epley, Rapata, now Wade in charge of getting these outs. Bullpen, a team within a team. They take a lot of pride in coming out of the bullpen, snuffing rallies or getting the final few outs before the preserve a Yankee win. Bullpen's been pretty solid all season long. They were tested with some injuries to David Robertson, who's back now. Of course, Mariano Rivera out for the remainder of the season.
So Ross continuing to spoil pitches by Wade. We've seen a lot of foul balls by the Braves today. And another one.
It's become a 9-pitch at bat for David Ross, who making most of a start.
Get out of here. Go.
You hear David Ross cheering on that foul ball to get out of there. Go. And he got his wish.
Get out of here. Go.
I think that's what every hitter said when he hit the ball for a home run today. Ross's 18th start behind the plate this year. Got himself a home run.
Three-2, and he wins that battle. Cutting the ball off is Ibanez, and that holds Ross to a single. Now, we talked about Rapata, 4 up, 4 down, 4 Ks. Let's take a look at the Mazda pitch profile, Kenny.
Joe Girardi brings him in to face 2 lefties initially. Freddie Freeman gone. Jason Hayward, sit down. Then a right-handed hitter called out on strike, Simmons. Then another lefty, Francisco, done. 4 hitters, 4 strikeouts for Clay Rapata.
Count 1-0. Count 1-1. Bourne started the scoring in the first inning, singled the left field off Hughes. Then he stole a base and scored on Dan Uggla's 2-out single. Then the home run started. Freddie Freeman connected with a 2-run shot, and just like that, the Yankees were down 3-0. They've been climbing back since. Fly ball left field. Ibanez backs up. He'll put it away, and that will do it. Here in the 7th, no runs ahead, no errors, and 1 man left on base at the end of 6.5 innings of play. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Braves lead the Yankees 6-4, but will stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
And offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
And Chris, a little bit later on in the postgame, Last night, Dustin Pedroia re-injured his right thumb. Nothing going right for the Red Sox. Freddie Galvis, who has obviously been very important with the injury to Utley, he suspended 50 games for testing positive. Joel Peralta ejected for pine tar on his glove. And Ichiro Suzuki collected his 2,500th Major League hit. Will they keep him around to get 3,000? This is the last year of his contract with Seattle.
The one that entices me is Joel Peralta. Manager Davey Johnson had the umpires check his glove last night. They found pine tar in his glove. So he was ejected immediately from the game and probably faces either some fine or suspension as Chad Durbin comes in the game.
Cadillac scoreboard 6-4. Braves lead. And Chad Durbin deals outside, the new pitcher for the Braves. Now Peralta pitched, I believe, last year for the Nationals.
Exactly.
So they knew his act. It was in 2010. And Joe Madden, the manager of the Rays, said it was a Bush League move to check him by Davey Johnson. But then you wonder, if he did that with the Nationals, why would he be so silly as to do it against his old team?
Exactly, because they know your mode of operation.
Yep. 2-2. Martin, Nix, and Jeter here in the 7th. Yankees trail 6-4.
Durbin worked in the game last night here at the stadium and had a scoreless inning. Had a 1-2-3-6.
And Martin works a leadoff walk.
Martin's been on base all 3 times. A double and 2 base on balls. It's not what Freddie Gonzalez envisioned.
Now Mark Teixeira's on the bench. He hurt his heel yesterday on the hot shot by Hayward. They were going to give him today off anyway, but it is sore. I'm not quite certain about his availability.
Here's how it happened, and it was a shot off the bat of Jason Hayward, and Teixeira said this is the hardest ball ever hit to him. And if he can't put leather on it, you knew it had some speed on it coming down first base.
It's kind of lucky Kenny hit his heel and not his ankle. Probably broken his ankle.
Because he had to shoe the cushion.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it is sore, and Girardi asked him today, do you think you'll be okay for Friday? He said yes, he will be okay for Friday. So if you have to ask him if he's okay for Friday, they probably will not use him today. And it was the left heel, so that would really affect him as a left-handed
Yeah,
batter.
push off foot.
1-1. Nix drives one deep to right center. That one holds up, though, as Bourne makes the play. 1 out. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Well, here's the guy who started the Yankees side of the home run barrage. He had a home run off Tommy Hanson to lead off the first inning. Martin has been on base 3 times, the single and 2 walks, and he leads off first, held there by Freeman. Right in on the hands of Jeter. Foul back. Chris Medlin warming for the Braves. They've announced the crowd here at the stadium. 45,094. And the beginning of the game, there are a lot more people in the seats. You wonder if it just got too hot for people or they've run for shade. You see the bleachers, a lot of empty benches out there in the bleachers as well. It's hot out there.
I think you called it right when you said the Mohegan Sun today. It's the busiest, might be the busiest place because it's air conditioned out there in the center. There you go.
Jammed.
Standing room only.
Count 2-1.
You know, this is kind of what you would call a sudden heat wave. It wasn't like a gradual buildup. I mean, yesterday was just about, and all of a sudden overnight, man, 95 degrees.
Yep.
So maybe people take it. Takes a little time to get used to it.
And Joe Girardi was asked, do you have to do special things? He said, we have to make sure the players stay hydrated. He said, and then when they're not batting, sometimes they'll go in the runway adjacent to the dugout where it's cooler there. All that Gatorade and water is ready to go on ice. Runner goes on 3-1, and Jeter fouls it back.
Well, if Martin's going 3-1, you suspect he'd be going on 3-2.
Ross wants to talk with Durbin.
This is probably a bad location.
Braves are one of the teams I would say probably best suited for this sort of weather. The Braves and the Orioles, used to the humidity and extreme heat.
Call it hot Atlanta, don't they?
I didn't ask you this. Does D.C. have the same humidity as Baltimore?
They're only 40 miles
but
apart.
I mean, is one a different altitude? As Jeter ends up walking.
No.
So it's the same. It's just as hot.
It's just as hot.
So now the Yankees have the tying run on base. That'll bring up Granderson.
Braves are trying to open a door for the Yankees. I mean, base on balls with a 2-run lead. And it's not what the way you usually draw it up.
Dropped in a breaking ball for a strike. Granderson looking for his first hit today. He's 0 for 3. 2 fly balls to center and a strikeout. There's a base hit to right field. Martin rounds third. He's going to score. Jeter goes to third. It's an RBI single for Granderson. Now Atlanta leads 6-5.
The walks will fuel in its scoring inning. And the Yankees have had 2 walks here. 1 scored and 1 is on third base with 1 out. Granderson adjusts to a breaking ball. He's been getting a steady dive. And he rips it into right field for the hit. Martin's going to score easily. And Jeter's going to track it all the way to third base where he represents the tying run. Here's another look at the Granderson swing. Stays back on the breaking ball and lines it into right field for the hit.
Here's A-Rod. He is 1 for 3. A-Rod has had success against Durbin. Short sample size, 4 hits and 10 at bats. He had a short porch home run in the 6th inning, squeaking it over the wall into the first row, his 11th home run of the year. That was fouled back. Let's see if they can turn two. There's one. On to first, it's a double play. So Alex Rodriguez wraps into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. The Yankees add one, and now it's 6-5 Braves. We go to the 8th. If you've decided yet, you can text your vote to 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Freddie Freeman, number 2, Martin Prado, number 3, Robinson Cano, and number 4, the captain, Derek Jeter. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. I don't know if we've seen the player of the game yet, Kenny.
Maybe not.
Chad Durbin had worked 19 straight scoreless appearances before the Yankees pushed a run across in the 7th, so that breaks that string, and the Yankees have closed to within one at 6-5. Hyundai scoreboard 6-7-0, leading 5-6-0, and Martin Prado leads off against Corey Wade. Wade got the final out of the 7th. And a strike. Another strike. Count 0-2.
Bullpen's allowed just one hit, and that was a single by Ross last inning.
See Eric O'Flaherty up. We saw him yesterday. Count 1-2. And the count 2-2. That one's lined into left center field. It is a base hit. Cutting it off in the gap is Ibanez. but Prado gets himself a leadoff double.
Prado's a solid hitter in that 2 spot, and he stays with that breaking ball. It was kind of up a little bit, and he doesn't miss it. Solid line drive to gap in left center. Ibanez thinking about second. No, he can't get him there. Gets it back in.
Joe Girardi will go to the bullpen again. This time it'll be Boone Logan, the lefty, facing Brian McCann. The WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry break down the big plays from today's matchup. Plus, Chris Sheeran talks to the players in the clubhouse, and we'll also have Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame, and it's only on Yes. Fifth pitcher for the Yankees, Phil Hughes started, then Cody Epley, Clay Rapata, Corey Wade, and now Boone Logan. '35th game for Logan. 33 strikeouts in 24 and 2/3 innings. Opponents hit .239 against him. And here's Brian McCann, who is 0 for 3 today with a foul ball to A-Rod, and then a strikeout looking and a strikeout swinging.
Logan had an inning last night, a scoreless inning.
Snap throw to second, and Prado gets back ahead of the tag by Nix.
Set play. Martin stands up and guns it to second. And Prado has to hustle back.
Grounded to first. Chavez flips to Logan. They get McCann, and Prado moves to third.
Productive out for McCann to move Prado over to third with 1 out.
Yankees bring the infield in. They'll try to cut off that run with Dan Uggla at the plate. And they will intentionally walk Uggla and set up lefty-lefty. Logan against Freeman.
Yeah, they have 2 lefties in a row coming up. Following Freeman is Hayward.
David Robertson getting ready. So that sets up the double play.
Now we've seen Freeman just he missed the series in Atlanta with an injury, but he doesn't let many pitches pass. He swung at the first pitch that he saw in the first thing. He hit a 2-run homer. Well, this is not a situation where you're just not throwing something to get it over the plate and get ahead on the count. You got to make good pitches.
So runners on first and third, and they are now at double play depth. And Logan deals. Freeman definitely lives by the motto, thou shalt not pass.
Solid defensive first baseman too. Last night made an error. That was his first error in 102 games.
The 0-1. Grounded to first, off the glove of Chavez. They'll get one out, run scores. If he fielded it cleanly, that was probably an inning-ending double play. But it's now 7-5 Atlanta. And an RBI for Freeman, because you cannot assume the double play.
I think you're exactly right, Michael. He had two choices here. He could either step on the bag, then throw to second. But instead, with the bobble, there's only one play. And Boone Logan gets over the first to record the out.
It's a big run for the Braves. Now a runner at second for Hayward. And a strike. Count 0-2. Logan came over from the Braves in the Vasquez deal. And now facing his former teammates, the 0-2. 1-2. Braves 3 in the first, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and now 1 in the eighth, adding up to 7. Yankees 1 in the first, 1 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, and 1 in the seventh, adding up to 5. Foul ball.
Logan's breaking ball has been the pitch of choice to retire left-handed hitters with 2 strikes.
Two and two.
Had to heat him up. Fastball.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second, and the Braves up by 2. Top of the 8th inning. Still 2-2.
Yeah, Hayward spoiled a pretty good pitch. About 6'5" or close to 6'6". He got a long reach, and he was able to foul that one off. Russell Martin go out to the mound. I wonder if there's a verbal sign that he won't give one when he gets behind the plate. And with a runner at second, sometimes it's the way catchers work. Didn't give a sign.
Fly ball, deep right, should have given a sign. See ya. A 2-run home run for Hayward. And now it's 9-5 Braves. Second home run of the game. His 10th of the year. And the 9th combined between these two teams.
Hayward now joins Freeman with 3 runs batted in the game. The 2 left-handed hitters back to back. The first baseman and the right fielder have each driven in 3 runs, and Hayward reaches the seats here for the second time. It's 10th home run of the season.
Nine combined ties the record for this season, and the Rockies and the Reds did it on May 27th, and it's the most combined at the new Yankee Stadium. 4 previous games had 8 home runs combined. Count 2-0 to Andrelton Simmons. So the Botts double play really comes back to hurt the Yankees, as Larry Rothschild will go down to settle Logan down. Because, again, you can play the if game. But if Teixeira's at first, and no knock on Chavez, who does a nice job there, but Teixeira is one of the best first basemen in the game.
Ever.
He turns that into a 3-6-3 double play. The inning's over, and the Yankees going to the bottom of the 8th inning, trailing just 6-5. Instead, it turns into just 1 out, keeps the inning alive, and then Hayward hits a 2-run home run. So that's the swing right there. But 1-run lead, now a 4-run lead.
You're right about Chavez. It's only his second start at first base this year.
Looped into center field. Coming on is Granderson, and he'll make the play for the final out of the 8th. But 3 runs on 2 hits. Nobody left. Cano leads off the bottom of the 8th. Now the Braves lead 9-5, 9-9-0, leading 5-6-0. If you just tuned in, 9 home runs combined for these two teams. 5 by the Braves and 4 by the Yankees, and that's a new Yankee Stadium record. So the Yankees have 6 more outs. try to get back in this game, and now they'll have to do it against the left-hander Eric O'Flaherty. They saw him last night.
He's got good stuff, as you can tell. 20 strikeouts in 24 innings. And he too worked a scoreless inning here last night. He worked the 8th inning. Hit a batter, but then got a double play.
Cano had a home run his last time up, 1 for 3. And there's a strike. And another strike.
O'Flaherty, Venters, and Kimbrel were the 3 major players out of the Braves bullpen last year. All made quite a few appearances.
The 0-2. Served the other way, and it slices foul into the seats. Game like this, you could look at a lot of plays to play at first. We could also look in the 7th inning. Yankees have runners on first and third. They're down 6-5, and Alex Rodriguez is up. All he has to do is hit a fly ball, and it's a tie game. Changes the whole tenor and how Joe uses the bullpen. But instead, Alex wraps into a 6-4-3 double play, and just has a different feel when you then go to the 8th inning.
Yeah, but then the Braves add 3 more, and that's Jason Hayward, who's having himself a pretty good series.
Let's say Alex gets the fly ball, though, Kenny.
Tell me.
And then it's 6-6. They go to the 8th inning. You're probably facing Robertson. You're not facing Corey Wade and the combination of Wade and Logan.
To hold it right there.
Yeah, everything changes with that ground ball double play. Now certainly an uphill climb against Flaherty and then Kimbrel. Ground ball and a base hit as they start that climb. 2 for 4, Cano.
After starting out 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up, follow that with a home run and now a leadoff single. Home run in the 6th inning, leadoff single here in the 8th. You know, to me, on a day like this where you mentioned Michael, the ball is just flying out, it's about getting men on base.
And then when you pop one.
Yeah. You know, the Yankees have been, well, they're all solo shots, right? Yeah.
So here's Swisher. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. And the pitch is high. 1-0. One and 1. Swisher is 13 for his last 36. Leads the Yankees with 42 runs batted in. The home runs by the Yankees: Jeter, Chavez, A-Rod, and Cano. Fly ball right field. Hayward is there. He'll make the play. Even a ball off the end of the bat like that carried just to in front of the warning track.
Yeah, your initial reaction is to watch the outfield, and they usually tell you when they start drifting back towards the warning track and into the wall, it seems like the ball's going to carry out of the ballpark. Hayward held his hand up right away to tell you he had a shot to catch that ball.
Well, Girardi is now going to go to the bench. He'll send up Andrew Jones to pinch hit for Ibanez. Medlin warming up. strike to Jones. Jones pinch hit yesterday, got promptly plunked. But Girardi said that he was okay today. Didn't start against Hansen. Now 1-1. Now Mark Teixeira has grabbed the bat. Probably been receiving treatment on the heel the entire game. He's going out on deck. Now 1-2. Yankees have an off day tomorrow. And then they start a 3-game set at Citi Field against the Mets. And those 3 games will be the final 3 interleague games of the regular season. Yankees hope they play interleague games in October. But 1-2. 2-2.
They got a pretty good record in those as well.
Yep. And Jones has worked the count full at 3-2.
He has yet to swing the bat in this at bat, and eyeballed his way to a full count.
Still 3-2.
That type of afternoon here at the stadium. A little toasty.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Jones down on strikes. And that'll bring up Mark Teixeira to pinch hit for Chavez. Teixeira got smoked on the left heel. A hot shot off the bat of Hayward in last night's game. It was sore when he came to the ballpark, but he is pinch hitting. It would probably be a bit more difficult, as we said, to hit from the left side, because that would be the back foot. Now hitting right-handed against the lefty O'Flaherty. The 1-1. Ripped down the left field line. It's a fair ball and up against the wall. And it's going to be a double for Mark Teixeira. For a pinch hit double for Teixeira, putting runners on second and third with 2 outs.
Yeah, when you said ripped, it was quite aptly called. Ball got into the corner in a hurry off the bat of Mark Teixeira. Man, tried to get in on him. He wouldn't have it. Hooks into the corner once again. Prado plays the ball well out of the corner. See that ball hooking. And Teixeira moving into second with his 17th double of the season. Like a little stop gingerly at second base.
All right, big at bat here for Russell Martin. And he fouls it back. Russell's 1 for 1 with 2 walks today. Missed outside. O'Flaherty did the count. 1-1.
Flaherty might have lost his balance on that last pitch.
The count 2-1. Little base hit here makes it 9-7 in all likelihood. Although some good arms in the Braves outfield. Ground ball, Francisco fields, and he gets Martin for the final out of the 8th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We're going to go to the 9th inning. Braves 9, Yankees 5.
In center stage with Michael Kay as sportscaster Joe Buck sits down to discuss his lengthy career covering some of the biggest sporting events of the past 2 decades. Plus Joe's thoughts on how baseball is better when the Yankees are winning. It's a new center stage next Thursday at 11, only on Yes. Joe Buck.
He was very good. Very good.
Son of the legendary Jack Buck, a Hall of Fame broadcaster.
We talked about that as well. Freddie Garcia, the Yankees' 6th pitcher, so the Yankees caught a break of late by not having to go too deep in the bullpen with a day off tomorrow. This is the day that you'd want to use your relievers if you had to, and Freddie Garcia, who got that victory in the extra inning game on Saturday in D.C., comes on now to get the 3 outs here in the 9th. And Juan Francisco will lead it off. The 0-1. 1-1.
Freddie, of course, making a major adjustment after being sent to the bullpen. There's Craig Kimbrell, Todd Redmond, a pair of right-handers in the Braves pen.
Check swing. No, he did not go, said Gibson. Now 3-1.
Freddie with a nice, easy delivery. Looks like he's just playing catch with Russell Martin.
Line into left center. It's a base hit. Cutting it off is Granderson and will hold it to a single.
It's nice, easy, free-flowing delivery. And then the line drive off the bat of Francisco that Granderson has to chase down. The Braves try and build another run here with Ross at the plate.
Runner goes. Ball bunted at. And Francisco goes into second. The throw gets past Cano, and Francisco will go to third. I think that took the Yankees by surprise as the Braves are up by 4.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that that wasn't some sort of a missed sign, because Ross squares the bunt. He's trying to sacrifice. Meanwhile, Francisco's on the move. He might have read hit and run. And it all comes down and works in his favor. As the ball gets away, he gets up and continues on to third. It's going to force the Yankees to bring the infield in.
The 0-1. Fouled away. Well, why would they be bunting anyway?
Well, just
with a 4-run lead.
Just to make it 5, because then a grand slam doesn't tie the game. Just to pick up that extra insurance run. But somebody didn't get there was some sort of miscommunication there.
Still 0-2.
Because you very rarely see a bunt and run. I haven't seen one in a number of games. Did we have one yesterday? No.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Freddie's fastball is coming back. In DC, it was at about 90. That was 89. Remember in spring training in the early going, he was struggling because his fastball was about 84, 85.
Maybe the rest does him a little, coming out of the bullpen. Give him a chance to recharge those batteries.
Infield remains in for Bourne. Francisco leads off third. One man out. Top of the ninth.
Yeah, Bourne's a pretty good bunter.
Yankees did make some defensive changes. Teixeira takes over at first. Jones stays in for Ibanez in left. And Freddie Garcia is on the mound. The 0-1. 0-2.
Now Freddie's got him set up for the split finger, which is his put away pitch.
Strike 3. I think he was looking splitter, and the ball stayed up in the zone for the second out.
We get another look, and we'll see what happens here. It was more of a slider than a splitter, and it drops in there over the outside corner for call strike 3. And that's not the splitter grip. Maybe Bourne gave up on it, think it wouldn't clip the corner, but it did.
It's also odd sometimes that ball players argue on a hanging breaking ball. I mean, that ball was up in the zone. You'd want to hit that. But I don't think he was expecting something at that eye level. So now the infield backs up as Prado takes a strike. Phil Hughes started, did not pitch well, gave up 4 home runs. Then it was Epley, Rapata, Wade, Logan, and now Garcia. That was a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Yankees will take note of that, and other teams maybe scouting will take note of that. He throws 91 with that split. He'll get people out. Count 1-2 now. You want to look ahead to the bottom of the ninth inning. It'll be Nix, the number 9 batter, then Jeter and Granderson. If anybody gets on, A-Rod, and then Cano. The 1-2. Prado goes down. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees and the Braves, the rubber game of a 3-game set. Wednesday matinee here at the stadium. The 2-2. Just missed outside with the fastball.
Freddie might have wanted that one. Target of Russell Martin. Prado holds up, maybe just a hair outside. Yep, just a little off the plate.
And that's a base hit to right field. That will score Francisco. An RBI for Prado. And now the Braves have doubled the Yankees 10-5.
Prado's 3rd hit of the game. Previous pitch was off the corner. This one was on it, and Prado was ready. And he slaps it into right field. He's got a single, a double, and a home run now. Driven in a couple of runs, scored 2 runs.
Here's Brian McCann. Count 0-1. Ground ball to second. Cano is there, and that'll do it here in the 9th. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? They trail by 5. Yankee Stadium. 9 home runs between these two teams. 5 by the Braves, 4 by the Yankees. But late innings, the Yankee bullpen cracked just a little bit. And a close game has turned into a 10-5 lead for the Braves as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. New pitcher is Todd Redmond, as they do not go to their closer. I thought it was Todd Redmond. Okay, this is Chris Medlin, who had also been warming up. I apologize. So Medlin comes on.
Yeah, we saw Medlin earlier in the series, and 23 ball games this year.
And here is Jason Nix. And a strike. 10-11-0 Braves, 5-8-1 for the Yanks. Count 0-2.
Medlin working back in the bullpen again for the Braves. Missed most of last year. Come back from Tommy John surgery.
Speaking of Tommy Hanson will get the win if the Braves hold on. Despite allowing 4 home runs, and really the Yankees the first AL East team that really got to him. In 7 career starts against the American League, Tommy Hanson 6-0, 1.22, so he'll go 7-0, but his ERA will certainly rise. Missed outside. If the Yankees get anything going in this inning, then you're going to see Kimbrel. And that's tipped into the glove of Ross for a strikeout, 1 away. That'll bring up Jeter. A long time ago, he led off the bottom of the first inning with a home run against Tommy Hanson. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. 7 home runs for Jeter. And that home run was his 90th hit of the year, which leads the American League. And a strike. Yankees on the verge of losing their first series since May 28th through the 30th, when they lost 2 out of 3 against the Angels. They have been that hot. They won 5 series in a row up to now.
Get a chance to regroup tomorrow, a day off, and then over to Citi Field.
Ground ball is short. And there are now 2 outs. Yankees down to their final out. And that's going to bring up Curtis Granderson. He brought the Yankees as close as they can come with his base hit in the 7th inning that made it 6-5. Put runners on first and third with 1 out. But Alex Rodriguez banged into a double play to end the threat, and a lot of the air went out of the balloon right there. That's as close as they got. Count 0-2, and the Yankees down to their final strike. Right back to Medlin, and that'll do it. As the Yankees lose this game 10-5, and the Braves win this series 2-1. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy Player of the Game. So after winning 10 straight, the Yankees have now lost 2 in a row. They lost last night, and they lose the rubber game today. We'll come back, we'll wrap it up, and then the postgame with Bob and Jack and Chris.